Hey guys, what's Abi'nin? My name's Trevor with H&E Studios, and this is our business segment called What's Abi'nin? Today we have our guest, Terrence Penns. He is the curator for Curtis House here in Abilene. So Terrence, why don't you tell us a little bit about Curtis House, maybe how it got started, and we'll kind of take it from there.
Cool. Thanks, Trevor.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, Curtis House is a nonprofit here in Abilene, Texas. It's a nonprofit birth off another nonprofit, the Interested Citizens of Abilene North, or ICANN. And basically what we do at the Curtis House is inhabit the Black history of Abilene, but also try to promote and progress, but also educate the history the history of Abilene and the Black history in Abilene and what we have to go with that.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool, man. I know that there's some kind of interesting history as far as your family being involved in it. So your dad was a co-founder for ICANN, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
My father, Reverend Andrew Penns, he and a couple of other people or citizens of Abilene kind of came together and developed and formed ICANN, mainly due to the way that things were going on in the city at that time. And, understand ICANN is about to celebrate their 30th year being formed here in Abilene. And if you think back 30 years in Abilene and that particular community, there was a lot of things going on that weren't necessarily progressive to promoting and building and forwarding the community itself,
Okay, so it was developed out of a need for change.
Yes.
I'm guessing it sounds like there was a definite need for that with that specific area, correct? It was Northside Abilene.
Yes, Northside Abilene, also known as the Carver community.
Okay.
If you want to call it that. Yes.
Okay. So what makes the Curtis House significant?
The Curtis House is significant or is very special because, first of all, my dad is a veteran. He served in Vietnam.
Well, thank you for your service.
Hey, definitely served in Vietnam, and one thing that he started looking into and seeing was that a lot of history, as far as Black men or the Blacks or just the Black history itself was getting lost. Here in Abilene, Texas. And, one thing about that is that he used that specific place to inhabit all the Black history that he could find or come up with to educate people about the things that happened and things that kind of progressed and how things were. When he even, came back from Vietnam, he always tells the story of, just how he felt when, he see his friends that, didn't look like him. They come back, they were welcomed, they were, greeted, hugged, and things like that. And a lot of the Black soldiers kind of had to go back to normal life per se, and some of them even harder lives when they came back. So, one thing about the Curtis House is very significant is that it just kind of tells a tale of how things were, but also shows you where we're at now and kind of how, it's progressed and where we can be past those things.
Okay. And so the Curtis House as well, so it was home to a prominent Black family in Abilene, correct?
Yes. So the Curtis Starks funeral service was a service here in Abilene. And I'm still very new with the history itself, but I know the Starks family or the Curtis family lived in the Curtis House there, and Benny Curtis was a funeral director, undertaker here in Abilene, and once that after he had passed, they kind of just had the property sitting there, and he had not only his home, the Curtis House there, but he also had a funeral home down the way in the Stevenson Park area.
Okay.
But the Curtis House itself, it just kind of sat there for a while, and they were going to either demolish it and didn't really know what to do with it. So my dad and a couple other people kind of got together and said, let us buy it from you, let us do something with it. And they originally were going to do a bed and breakfast. Here in Abilene on the north side, it was different at the times, but at the same time, it would have been a little difficult to do that. So my dad kind of made the suggestion of preserving the history of Abilene, because the house itself was historic. And not only that they, were able to get that house, before that, prior, they acquired the Butler House, or where the ICANN headquarters is
Okay.
currently right now. So after they acquired the house from the family, they set brick ground to start rebuilding and remodeling and getting things up to date. And a few months later, you have the Curtis House. It's there.
Well, that's a cool story, man. And so, am I right in saying it was also repurposed at one point for a daycare, as a daycare for
The
a short
Butler
period of time?
House. The
Okay, the
Butler
Butler
House
House.
was, yeah.
Okay, I
So-
thought it was the Curtis House, and I was like, that's kind of wild to go from a funeral a funeral home into a daycare, which I guess it was the home of the funeral director, not the actual funeral home. So
Yes, the home of it was his home, not
Okay.
not the actual funeral.
my homework was wrong. I was like, that's kind of wild, but that's cool. It's either way, it's cool.
Yeah.
So, how do you guys get involved in the community, or how does the community get involved with you guys?
So one way that we try to stay involved in the community, first of all, is through community cleanups. We do organize with ICANN a couple little meal type things, fish fries, basket gatherings, handing out food to the poor in the community per se, if that's the case. So we do kind of do those things as well. We also try to promote events that deal with the Black history, the Black culture per se, like Black History Month,
Okay.
Juneteenth.
Okay.
For instance, this last Juneteenth, I gave out free hot dogs at the Curtis House. So it was just kind of like, I don't know, I'll go buy 100 hot dogs and just kind
Yeah.
of grill them up, see what happens. And we had a pretty good little turnout. So, we try to just give back as much as we can in the community, but also try to be a place where the community can come to utilize resources, to be able to show their kids or their people history that they might have not known. We also have a library in the Curtis House. So, one of my interns, she always used to say, like, it'd be a cool little spot, just come in and study, because it's so quiet up here. And, you got Wi-Fi, you can tap in and kind of be in there if you needed to. So we try to be a spot where people can, come in, feel comfortable, but also try to cater to the community in any capacity that we can.
Okay. And is there a way that the community can help serve Curtis House as well?
Definitely. Community can get involved by, first of all, volunteering time. Anytime you can give your time to a nonprofit or to any entity, it's a great thing. So, I do have students and people who need volunteer hours, extra credit hours, things like that. When we do host events, it's good to have people to kind of come along and help us out or donate items that we may need, whether it be ice or drinks or, prizes, if we may be giving away prizes. I've had a guy actually offer to cut the lawn
Okay.
if we needed that, so just little things like that. And, any way to kind of help us, per se, help ourselves is a great thing. And, people just always, especially when it comes to history, they're always so into the donating mood and, hey, I found this, maybe it's a good little piece of history you guys want to check out. And that's also a great way to kind of spark conversations within the community a lot.
And that's a cool way to get the community involved as well, that I wasn't even considering, is that people who have lived in Abilene, who are a part of that community, being able to bring documentation or pictures or photos of their family when they were here during those harder times, or just even prior to share a little bit of their family history, because I think it sheds light on Abilene. So
Yes.
You hear that, Abilene? You guys can get involved. Get a hold of Terrence and the Curtis House, and donate your time, or donate relics, family heirloom, or whatever it can be, just to help get involved. That's really cool, man. So what's upcoming for the Curtis House and for ICANN?
So, one thing, we actually got a lot of exciting things coming up. We're looking at 2025 as being a great year for us. First of all, we're doing some restructuring within the organization, of ICANN, which is, restructuring is always good. I feel like, sometimes people kind of get bogged down in new things, but that's the way we progress is, trying out new things, new ideas, new ways to kind of set your concrete footprint, if you want to call it that. But we're doing some ways to kind of not only progress I can, but also help the Curtis House be who it is as well. So event wise, we're definitely going to look at doing some more open door type events, some more sit down type events where you can buy tickets, do like some raffle prize giveaways, some catering events. In a sense, I have one that we're working on right now. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but it's definitely going to be kind of a dress up, feel good, old time, but good vibe
Okay.
type event. So just things like that to kind of keep the Curtis House, the doors open, but keep foot traffic coming into the doors, and giving people a different perspective on where we have been as people and kind of where we've come, and you have like so many different entities that tell certain types of history. As for example, the Grace Museum, we work with them very closely. They've been a great help to us as far as like helping us establish ourselves. But it'd be great to have a spot kind of like the Grace Museum where people can kind of come in and look around as they like, where things are going on, where kids can come in and feel comfortable, where people can see art and interact and engage and just kind of be a part of that itself.
Oh yeah, of course. And that's going to be up to you, Abilene. It's going to, you guys are going to have to hop in and help. Definitely share the word and spread the message and get involved where you can. So where can we find information about the Curtis House, or where can we follow you in order to keep up with these kind of events?
So as far as the Curtis House goes, first of all, you can follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram is CurtisHouse_CC. That's CurtisHouse_CC on Instagram, and that's going to be like probably our main page to follow us at. We do have a website we're working on with ICANN, kind of restructuring, redoing that, where you can kind of go in and kind of see some of the events and pictures that we've done. But I'll definitely keep the Instagram up to date so people can kind of see what's happening with the events. And we do have a ICANN page on Facebook as well, the Interested Citizens of Abilene North. And you can just type in ICANN and it'll pop up. So.
Okay. Well, Terrence, it was awesome to have you, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me on, bro.
Yeah, of course. Anytime. We'll have to get back together again and do it whenever things start to roll with the 2025 coming along.
For sure. You have to come out and come check it out. I'll show you around. And,
yeah.
I have some events coming up, so maybe you can come see that and
come
see what we're about.
Absolutely. And we'll meet you guys there. So thank y'all for your time.